Good afternoon, K students. Hope you're doing wonderful. Today's lesson in science is Engineer It. How can we change the way things move? And the objective of our lesson is to collect and analyze data to determine if a design solution works as planned to change an object's speed or direction with a push or a pull. So let's get started. Let's begin our lesson by talking about motion. Motion is the act of moving. When something is moving, it is in motion. Now let's look at these two pictures and let me ask you a question. What are the things being moved in these two pictures? Very good, a piano and some boxes. And do these objects move on their own? No. These objects must be pushed or pulled in order to move. So now, let's look at the first picture that shows a man moving a piano. What force is causing the piano to move? Very good, a pull. Now, what about the second picture? What is causing the boxes to move? Well done, a push. So, a push or a pull are opposite forces that can make objects move in different directions. Let's look at some other examples of push and pull forces. What is this man doing? And what is this little boy doing in the second picture? Well, the man in the first picture is moving a lawn mower away from him using a push force, while the boy is using a pull force to move the wagon closer to him. Let's help the boy in the first picture decide if he's going to use a push or pull force to move this shopping cart. What do you think? Very good. He's going to use a push force. What about the picture of the door on the right? What do you think? Will we use a push or pull force to open the door? Well done. We're going to use a pull force. Let us continue to look at some other examples of push and pull forces. What is the boy in this picture doing? Very good. He is fishing. And for this kind of an activity, he is using a pull force to pull the fish using his fishing rod. What about the man in the second picture? What is he using to move the rope? Well done. This man is using a pull force. And finally, what about the boy in the third picture? What kind of force is he using to move his little brother from one place to another? Very good. He's using a push force. And now, let's talk about speed. Some things move fast. Some things move slowly. Speed is how fast or slow something moves. Let's check out the examples in front of us. The cheetah in the first picture is running fast, while the tortoise in the second picture is moving slowly. Let's look at other examples of things moving in different speeds. The race car in the first picture on the left is moving fast, while the sailboat in the second picture on the right is moving slow. Now, let's talk about direction. Direction is the path a moving object takes. We can observe objects moving almost all the time. Some objects move in a round and round direction, just like the merry-go-rounds in amusement parks. Some other things move in a back and forth direction, just like the way we move on a swing. Other things move in a straight direction, just like trains. Other things move in a zigzag direction, just like the game we see in front of us, where the bomb is hitting the targets. And finally, some objects move in an up and down direction. Now, let's talk about changing direction. The strength of a force has an effect on objects, and this force can change the direction objects move. Let's see examples of some sports where players caused a change in the direction of objects. In the first example, we can see players controlling the ball direction in a basketball game. In the second example, we can see players changing the direction of a tennis ball by hitting it with a racket. And in the third example, we can see a player changing the direction of the baseball by hitting it with a baseball bat. Let's move on to talk about changing speed. Forces can also change the speed of objects. Let's take a look at the first picture and let me ask you a question. What do you predict will happen when you use more force pushing and pulling harder on the pedals? What do you think? Very good. The bike will move faster. Now, let's look at the second picture. And let me ask you another question. What do you predict will happen when you use less force without pushing and pulling hard on the pedals? Very good. The bike will slow down. And finally, let's talk about bumping. When objects touch, they push one another. The push can make the objects change direction and speed. Let's take a look at this picture of some bowling pins and a bowling ball. And let me ask you this question. What do you predict will happen when the ball hits the bowling pins? Let's think about it. Well done! The bowling ball will cause the pins to fall down. Now, what happens to the bowling ball after it hits the pins? Very good. As we can see in the picture above, it slows down and changes direction. And now we will move on to talk about our hands-on activity on page 59 in our science book. The materials needed for this activity are a cardboard box, toilet paper rolls taped together, a large marble, a small marble, tape, and some scissors. For step 1, the kids have to design a marble track. The marble should change direction, change speed, and push another marble. For step 2, these kids have to build the track. For step 3, these kids have to test the track and observe. And for step 4, they have to make changes, then test it again. And finally, for step 5, we have to analyze our results. So in the first box that we see in front of us, we should draw a working marble track with a marble placement. In the second box, we should also draw a different marble track with marble placement. Now let's make a claim. Our possible answer can be marbles will move in different direction and speed. And last of all, what is our evidence? Well, we should draw a working marble track again. Let's proceed to solve our exercises on page 64 in our science book. And for question number 1, let's take a look at these 3 pictures in front of us and let's answer the following question. Circle the pictures of a pull being used to move something. Well done! Let's circle the first picture of the child pulling a wagon and the second picture of the child pulling out the drawer. Now for part 2, we have 4 pictures in front of us and our question is, circle the picture of a way to make an object stop moving. So what do you think? Great job! Let's circle the first picture of a child catching a baseball. And finally, let's solve our last exercises on page 65 in our science book. And for part 3, let's take a look at these 4 pictures and let's answer the following question. Circle the track that changes the direction of the marble to move it round and round. Well done! Let's circle the second picture that shows a spiral track. In this track, we will notice that the marble will move around in a circle. Now for part 4, let's look at these 3 pictures below and let's circle the pictures of an object changing direction because of a touch. So what do you think? Great job! Let's circle all of the 3 pictures. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think is causing the objects in these pictures to change direction? Very good. They are touching or colliding with other objects. Great job, everybody. Until next time, have a great day.